Today is August 30th, 2022. The time is now 9:31. I call to order the meeting of the Birmingham City Council. We'll have the invocation will be led today by Minister Don Thompson, chaplain of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and Pledge of Allegiance by Councilor Tanya Tate. If you'll please join us, stand and join us. Thank you.
Good morning to the Mayor's Office and City Council, Presidents, Council President. Let me just start by saying thank you on behalf of the citizens of Birmingham for all that you guys do to make Birmingham the great city that it is. Amen. So let's have a quick word of prayer. Gracious Father, we thank you for your loving kindness and all of your tender mercies. We thank you for this day that you have made. We'll continue to rejoice and be glad in it. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Let your will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, and thank you, Minister Thompson. We appreciate that. At this time, Mr. Clerk, good morning. If you'll call the roll.
Councilmember Abbott. Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Moore. Good morning, sir. Councilmember O'Quinn. Good morning. Councilmember Tate.
Good morning, President.
Good morning. Councilmember Williams. Good morning. Good morning. Councilmember Woods. Council President Pro Tem Smitherman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Council President Alexander.
Good morning. Thank you. At this time, the minutes are not ready from April 19th, 2022 through August 23rd, 2022. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, good morning, Madam President. Good morning to the entire council. Good morning to the public as well. It's good to see each of you this morning. Madam President, I have a few notes, and then I have something that I think is important to share with the council. On the first note tonight, there will be a town hall meeting. I'm happy to join the Birmingham Superintendent, Dr. Mark Sullivan of Birmingham City Schools, as well as the Birmingham City Council, along with the Birmingham School Board. Today, August 30th at 5:30 p.m. at the Balboa Auditorium. This town hall is centered around one topic, and that is K through 3rd literacy. The whole idea is to encourage community support and rallying around our teachers, parents, and mainly our children as it relates to 3rd grade literacy. As you all know, I want to repeat what I shared with you last week. 3rd graders who do not pass the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment, that's a lot of words. So 3rd graders who are not reading at grade level, at a minimum grade level, starting next year, so current 2nd graders, will be automatically held back. Just a note, during the last year's school year that ended, only 43% of Birmingham's 3rd graders and only 41% of 2nd graders, and I just said that wrong, 43% were below grade level of 3rd graders and 41% of 2nd graders were below reading grade level. That is a high number, and we need to do everything we can to rally around them. So I really want to encourage you all to attend. For those who cannot attend in person, this note is mainly for parents of 2nd and 3rd graders, but anyone else who would have interest in this, which would mainly be parents who have children in K and 1st grade as well, please watch online. You can catch it on the City of Birmingham channels as well as the Birmingham City School channels. ACE, ACE has been with us for quite some time. If you don't know, ACE stands for the Academy of Civic Engagement. Applications are now open, but the whole idea, this is a citywide leadership initiative directly for citizens in our city. And the aim is to bring everyday citizens together for a deeper understanding of how their city works, how their city government works on their behalf. ACE wants to prepare residents to go out to the communities after they completed to act, serve, and mainly lead in their neighborhoods and community. You must be 16 years of age or older and a resident of the City of Birmingham to participate, and the deadline is October 5th. Madam President, just on a social note and something I think is pretty cool, the I Push Food and Music Festival This is the 4th annual I Push Foodie and Music Festival. It will take place this Sunday, September 4th. We'll be in the Inslee Entertainment District from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the event will feature live music, a variety of food, entertainment, arts, and lots of vendors. Many of you all may have received a text yesterday. I promise it's me. I wanted to publicly state that. It's not catfishing. It's actually me. I sent the text. Yeah, right? It's an additional tool for us to be able to engage and address constituent complaints. So just wanted to share that the text that you received yesterday is real.
It's really you.
I have a note, Madam President. As I have this note, I want these two officers to come forward. We have a gun violence problem in the city of Birmingham. This is not new to this council. We also have gun violence unfortunately has a grip on a lot of urban cores across America. And I'd like to remind people that gun violence in Birmingham and gun violence across the state of Alabama and gun violence across America is not an urban problem or necessarily isolated to a black problem. It is an American problem. And I think there are many things that exist. Why? I think I wake up every day trying to figure out how do we address this, how do we bring solutions, how do we decrease gun violence in our community. This council supports the same efforts we support around enforcement, reentry, as well as prevention measures. I think you passed one of the biggest budgets around policing just 2 months ago related to equipping our officers with more resources, etc. In addition to that, you continue to support reentry efforts as well as prevention efforts, violence interruptions, everything we're doing. But there's part of the conversation we don't talk about. As we continue at a local level to do everything we can, state legislators who have a supermajority vote, not just in Montgomery, but a lot of states across the nation are doing the opposite. They're loosening gun laws, which allows for more gun violence, in my opinion. And maybe it's not an opinion, maybe it's a fact. I think we all know at a certain level, you can actually remove this cover because I want the council to see what's here. I want the public to see what's here as well. What you see here are the type of guns that our officers confiscate. So as you know, there have been 90 homicides year to date. Of those homicides, 83 have been by guns. From January 1 to now, BPD, we track it on a weekly basis, but Birmingham police officers have confiscated or taken off our streets over 700 firearms. That's just this year with 4 more months to go, over 700. What you see are examples of guns that have been confiscated. I think we all know the crack epidemic that took place in the 80s and the early 90s. We know part of this crack epidemic flooded in our streets were also guns. A lot of those guns were automatic, semi-automatic weapons, not necessarily guns we use for concealed purposes. So in 1994, Congress, along with the president at the time, had a great idea to ban assault weapons that don't necessarily have a domestic use, right? These are military style weapons for the most part. And you can track it. I will not talk about the nation. I'll just talk about Birmingham, everybody. You see an increase during that same period of the 80s and 90s. Probably at the height about 1991, 120 to 140 homicides had occurred in Birmingham on a yearly basis. The assault ban happens in 94, and literally by 97, you see a dip well below 100 homicides a year. The assault ban expires after 10 years in 2004. And you see homicides in the city of Birmingham and across other urban cores just continue to go up. So why do I mention that? Because at the local level, everybody points to the mayor and the city council and say, what are you going to do about gun violence? How are you addressing gun violence? And then you have state legislators who are passing laws to loosen gun restrictions. And at the same time, you have a Congress who literally will not move on banning weapons that have no place. I am all for Second Amendment, y'all. I want you to hear me clearly. I am pro Second Amendment rights. But military weapons they just don't belong on our streets. There's no use for them but harm. These aren't used for hunting, right? What are they used for? Well, we know in urban cores they're killing people. And so, let's talk about some of these. You got an AKM. Which one is the AKM? You got an SKS. Show them what an SKS is. You got an AR-15. Now you got one that's commonly known as a mini Draco. And this is one of the most common firearms our officers see on the street, by the way. It's small and can be hidden. Like, you can literally tuck that if you want. And then you have the AR pistol, which is a version of the AR-15. And both the mini Draco and AR pistols are commonly seen these days. And then you have the PS-90, which is a semi-automatic that can easily be converted to a fully automatic. So we've all heard of the switch. If you haven't heard of the switch, it literally allows however many bullets are in a clip. Instead of you pulling the trigger every time, you just pull it one time and it unleashes the entire clip. These guns are being manufactured in our country. But let me tell you, like the crack epidemic, these guns are not being made in the city of Birmingham. But why are our streets pillared? Why are these guns at a very high level all in our streets? And so the calls you get, the calls that are made to 911, the calls I receive about all this gun violence, we need the state's help, we need the federal government's help to ban these type of weapons, because you can literally correlate in our nation when the federal government does not allow gun manufacturers to make billions of dollars off selling these guns at a domestic level. You see a correlation and a decrease of gun violence. And as long as these type of guns are allowed on the streets, the carnage we see, the pain we see, the pain we feel from our citizens who've lost loved ones, the ease and access to guns like these on our streets, we cannot solve this alone at a local level. So I just wanted to illustrate that to you, because you bring these issues to me often. The people you represent, the citizens you represent, bring these issues to me. We're doing everything we can, but we have to apply pressure to state governments and federal governments who say they actually care about life. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor Whitman. No, he didn't. There's a question, Councilor.
So you might not have this right in front of you, but do you know how many firearms BPD have confiscated this year?
700 plus.
Okay.
700 plus, everybody.
Yeah, so, Mr. Mayor, thank you for bringing this to the public by means of the council. I think it is important to realize the amount of ready access that really everybody has to firearms, and what that can correlate to so many times is whether it be a domestic dispute or whether it be an argument amongst people in the community, that easy access to firearms sometimes doesn't mean that you're throwing punches, or it doesn't mean that you're talking it out, which hopefully you're doing before throwing punches, but it means that you're actually exchanging brass back and forth, which obviously has led to the homicide rate that we currently are experiencing, and as well as the amount of gunshot victims that UAB in Princeton and Grandview are currently seeing right now. So I think it's very valuable that we have an open dialogue as a community about gun violence and all the facets of it. The reason that the community is so important in it is because there's a very small fraction of the citizens of Birmingham that are actually committing these violent crimes. The majority of the citizens of Birmingham are quite frankly scared of the 1% that are committing these violent crimes. And I think it's so important that we have the community conversation, because our officers, BPD or any department for that matter, it doesn't matter if we have 6,000 officers or an officer on every corner. Without the community's help, there's no way we're going to be able to solve this gun violence. One thing that has been shocking to me on this council over the past years is how many times our officers have responded to a homicide that they did not know was a homicide, or a gunshot victim laying on the ground that they did not know was a gunshot victim, because they're responding to ShotSpotter calls. No one was willing to call in the fact that they heard 30 rounds pop off right in front of their neighborhood. It's almost, it really is astounding the amount of times that ShotSpotter indicates where a shooting took place and where there actually is a victim discovered, whether they are a victim at that point or deceased at that point. So I think it is very important that this is a community conversation. We need the community's help. The 9 of us, the 10 of us, and the 1,000 men and women of Birmingham Police will not solve this alone. And I think that conversation needs to be about all of us, giving information when we have it. We have Crime Stoppers. We have an anonymous way of reporting information. It's 254-7777. And it is something that, I've shared this before, but one time our district attorney shared with me, and he said, Hunter, it was after a shooting happened within the city limits of Birmingham, and I believe it was, well, I won't speak to specifically which one it was, but he said, if this shooting took place in Hoover, if this shooting took place in wherever, Homewood, wherever, I would have 30 witnesses lined up at my door. This shooting took place in Birmingham, and I have people on video that we know were there, and we cannot get them to say what they saw. So it is a community conversation, and it needs community help. So thank you for bringing this to the community.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Tate?
Yes, thank you, Counselor Williams, for that insight. Mayor Woodfin, I just want to thank you, and I thank my colleagues would feel the same way for presenting this to us and presenting, these high-powered weapons. As a trained person that came from law enforcement and didn't learn how to shoot a gun until I went to the academy, it just shows, the situation that's happening across the country, that people are shooting, these high-powered rifles and these assault weapons with, no experience. And I totally agree with you that we have to legislate and lobby for gun violence and for these high-powered weapons to be taken off of the streets. Because I have never, being a aunt of a person that was gunned down in the streets of Birmingham back in March of this year, I am just drawn to that pain that most of these families are experiencing, and especially when you see the school shootings that have taken place, the latest school shooting, you have the Parkland school shooting. I just heard about a shooting at a grocery store in Oregon. 3 people were, and it was an assault weapon. And not only that, just learned about a shooting in Council Smitherman's district where they shooting 20 rounds like they in the Wild West. So we got a problem. I mean, we have a serious problem, and to know that people are carrying these weapons that are not legally. I mean, and I know people that's carrying these weapons are not carrying the weapons legally. And to go, and I've seen young people, like when I go to like a convenience store or just hop out cars with these Dracos and I mean, don't even care. Like, what are you doing? But I think that the other issue is, like Councilor Williams said, that we really need to have a community discussion. So I do know that it has to be a community effort. We have to reach back out to our people that have been former gang members, we have to reach out to the experts that have been gang members across the country that have started credible messenger programs to get people trained to be credible messengers, in the community. So it has to start, in the community. We have to go back in the community and have to address the hurt and the trauma that's in these communities, because I do know that hurt people hurt people. They use their hurt to take out on people. And I truly believe that some people can be redeemed. Some people can be, turned around. But those that cannot be turned around, they have to be somewhere until they learn to be turned around. And so I wholeheartedly agree with Councilor Williams that we do need to, have this conversation around, gun violence. We do have the hospital-based violence program that the council before me getting here worked very hard to get this here. So we want to thank you, for doing that. But we got to get more teeth, into that to bring that program together. And that's reaching out to, some credible messengers that's doing this work across the country, that has some reputable programs that are in place that we could bring here and get community members trained that are very interested in doing it. But again, thank you, Mayor Wolfen, and thanks to the BPD, men and women that's out on the street. Know that you have my prayers, because I know that this is hard, but I thank God that I made it out, because being a black woman in Florida, and my caseload was 95% of people that didn't look like me, was very hard. And having to go into communities where it was rural, dirt roads, and I always had to plan my exit out to make sure that I was able to get out in case something jumped off. So again, thank you, Mayor Wolf.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Councilor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam President. Something very interesting. A year ago, a group of community leaders asked me, had I experienced losing a loved one to gun violence? And I said, yes. And I said, just because we don't talk about it doesn't mean it's unaffected by us. I think every person up here, and we know including you, Mayor Woodfin, has known somebody, if they haven't witnessed it, knows that about gun violence. And I think we also have to remember gun violence is more than just people getting guns. And, Councilor Tay and I have talked about that. It deals with mental health. So making sure that we support the mental health organizations. A lot of times that's not financially. Making sure we get those resources out there. Poverty, that's a big issue, and that's really hard. That's going to take decades to get rid of that. Housing, we're working on housing and talking to the youth. It's really disappointing up here as a young adult that a lot of older individuals aren't talking to the youth. I'm not talking about your age. I'm not talking about like us up here. I'm talking about the ones like what Councilor Tate was talking about, who were in jail, who see a lot of young people that are on that path and don't say anything. And I feel like every other Tuesday we're crying out to the community, like, help us. Like, we're asking you all for help. Like, if you guys know some young people, don't just turn your head and go in the door. Talk to them, pull them aside, say, hey, young man, like, let me show you what life is really like. You don't have to go down this pathway. It's just, it really hard, and it really breaks my heart because we have had a lot of shootings in District 6. And we can't go in there. You talked about that. We can't go into every household and regulate what's going in there. So I really hope that when we go to NLC in Washington, D.C., when the session happens, you will come with us, because we cannot be scared because that politician may not be a Democrat or they may be independent or Republican. We really have got to just be community activists ourselves. I don't care if we have to harass them, call them every other week. We have to, come together and get different people. I don't care if we have to harass them, but that's the only way we're going to get them to change their minds. So, I really thank you for this, because this is a visual, because people need to see the type of guns on the street, because we do tell them these are the type of guns that happen. But, I thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Birmingham officers, and thank you to this council for supporting them.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Councilor Pro Tem. Councilor Clark.
Thank you, Mayor, for educating me. I've never seen most of these weapons, not even on, on TV. So it's really eye-opening. Can you give us some ideas about how we can effectively lobby to prevent the proliferation of these
I think
weapons?
in the state of Alabama, for example, we have 7 people who represent us in Congress. We have two that represent us on the Senate side. And I think there's one lone federal representative in our state that supports a ban on this because it affects her district at a disproportionate rate versus the other. But they all represent Alabamians. We're all Alabamians. And like, this is the weird thing about party that I don't really care about if it's life first. The other thing is, if you can't support this type of ban, I think that's un-American, right? Because the whole idea is public safety. Federal tax dollars, state tax dollars, local tax dollars. The root of what we do is public safety first. Public safety. And at a federal level, gun lobbyists for those who make guns have more power than victims of gun violence, have more power than the everyday citizens who are tired of gun violence. And our voices are not being heard. No one is saying, I think everybody's saying you can be pro-Second Amendment rights, and you can also agree that these type of military-style weapons do not belong on civilian streets. So I think lobbying our Alabama delegation first is a great start for them to see what's happening in one district can affect all. At a certain point, I think we recall that there was a reason why that assault ban happened. And the gun manufacturers had 10 years to plan, once that expired, that they were going to lock down their lobbying power to make sure a ban never happened again. But what's the exchange? They make billions while everyday citizens die. It's a bad exchange. And so I think we have to put pressure on all elected officials across, starting in Alabama, who represent the entire state, to say we need you to be about banning this to help all of us. I just think that's a great start. Remember, it's the ease and access to them, and it's the type of guns they have the ease and access to.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do want to join my colleagues in thanking you for bringing this, making this awareness to not only those of us on the council, but for the residents that may be watching. And when you read, when you see victims of gun violence, when you think of what these victims have been faced with these are weapons that you usually see in a military battle or conflict or war. And so we talk about war on our streets and the attack on our residents. And
Yes, your own son as well.
being a parent of someone's child has been a victim of crime like this, it's all boots on ground. We all got to work on this together. And it's the activism, it's the engagement with your legislative representatives, it's getting out there and it's saying something when you know something. And we talk about what happens in other communities, and our other people come up and they tell what they've seen, and you let something like this happen and go on in your communities over and over again. And the only thing I have to say about the shot spotters, if you're in a neighborhood, you tend to get immune. And it's not right that we have to live like this. So I'm just asking everyone to be aware. And I know, Mayor, your family has dealt with gun violence on a different level than mine. My son was a victim, but he survived. But we know there are countless other families out there whose their family members have not survived. So I just thank you for bringing and making this awareness, and we all, again, work on this together. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Council. That concludes the mayor's report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilor Woods. Apologize.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you as well. I think this is a very powerful illustration at the end of the day. I think we, or some people, you know, we may hear AR-15 or Mini Draco, and we know what that is, but kind of like Councilor Clark said, a lot of people don't know what those are. And I think as you look at, what your, officer service weapon is, and then compared to what they may encounter, out on the streets and things like that. And, there's really no justifiable reason to be riding around with this in your car, to be carrying these so frequently. I think one of the unique things about guns, and I think you talked about gun manufacturers, is that guns don't get old. A gun made 100 years ago is still just as effective as a gun made today. And so you got to ask, why is gun production ramping up? But I just wanted to thank you, one, because that is an extremely powerful illustration, and I think we need to probably do more to just kind of make sure people understand. When you're talking about 700 guns, we're not talking about small 32. You got some serious firepower out there. Literally the same things being carried right now in other countries in wars and things like that. And so, just extremely powerful
Yes, sir.
illustration. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you,
Thank you.
Council.
We have one more counselor. Counselor Moore would like to make a statement.
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you, Mayor, for this. Just wanted to, kind of talk to the community, because I know, the council has said, hey, we need the community's help in this matter. And I think it's times like this when the ACE program is something that, is very instrumental in making sure that, number one, citizens are well informed about how to get engaged, how to, engage with the city, but then also making sure that you're taking advantage of being a part of the collective that the neighborhood association provides for you. A lot of times, residents will not speak up in situations such as this because they feel like they're alone, right? But joining your neighborhood association gives you the opportunity to not stand by yourself. It gives you the opportunity to stand with your residents, to stand as a community, so that everybody is saying the same thing, and no one person has to feel like they will be the ones to, be retaliated against. If everybody is making the phone calls and calling the police and making getting the police reports, if everybody is sending the emails, if everybody is taking the pictures, what you start to create is a culture that this type of activity will not be able to thrive in. And that's what everybody wants. But you got to understand that it takes all of us to do it together. The council has to work in partnership with the community. The police department has to work in partnership with the community. And so when we talk about, ridding our streets of weapons like this and ridding our streets of activities like this, everybody has to understand that they take, there's a responsibility that all of us have to play. Nobody has the luxury of being able to just sit back and wait on Superman to come and save us, right? Like, we have to be the ones to step up, to make the noise, and to not be afraid. And I think that fear will dissipate once we understand that there's a power in the collective. Once we understand that there's power in us speaking together. And so I truly encourage each and every person. The mayor has made the announcement or given the information about the ACE program. Please make sure that you join. Fill out the application so that you can learn how the city works. Then I encourage you to make sure you join your neighborhood association, right? And be a part of what's going on in your neighborhood. You don't have to worry about trying to take over the city and all that. Just start with your street, your block.
What if your block is empty?
Start with your block. Start with your street. Start with your neighborhood. All right? And so I just thank you.
Excuse me.
I want to thank all the community members in advance. I want to thank all the community members in advance. And I also want to challenge the council to let's see how many people we can actually get to join our neighborhood associations, right? Let's see how many people we can get to join our neighborhood association. So in October, we have a vote that's going to take place for neighborhood officers. And I would encourage each and every one of you, even if you can't, run for an officer position, I would encourage you to start showing up to your neighborhood association so that we can start getting more people involved, more people engaged, because this can change. We could do our part on the legal side and legislate, but we can change this in our communities today, right now. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen of the who are attending today, and members of the public, I just want to remind you this is a business meeting, and no outbursts will be accepted. I will ask you one time that you're out of order, and from there we will have to ask you to leave. Just remember, this is a business meeting. Mr. Clerk, at this time, would you read the items for consent?
Okay. Consent agenda starts on page 3, item number 6. Then we skip over to page 20. We have items 7, 8, and 9 on consent. Page 21, we have items 10 and 11 on consent. Page 22, we have item number 12 on consent. Page 23, we have item number 13 on consent. Page 25, we have items 14 and 15 on consent. Page 26, we have item number 16 on consent. Page 27, items 17, 18, and 19 are on consent. Page 28, item number 20 is on consent. Page 29, items 21 and 22 are on consent. Page 30, items 23 and 24 are on consent. Page 31, item 25 is on consent. Page 32, items 26, 27, and 28 are on consent. Page 33, item number 29 is on consent. Page 34, items 30, 31, and 32 are on consent. Page 35, we have items 33 and 35 on consent. Page 36, we have items 36, 37, 38 on consent. Page 37, we have items 39, 40, and 41 on consent. Page 38, we have items 42, 43, and 44 on consent. Page 39, we have items 45, 46, and 47 on consent. Page 40, we have items 48, 49, and 51 on consent. Page 41, items 52, 53, 54, 55, and 56 are on consent. Page 42, items 57, 58, 59, and 60 are on consent. Page 43, items 61, 62, 63, 64, and 65 are on consent. And you have one addendum item.
All right, thank you. At this time, councilors, are there any items you'd like to add or remove? Dr. O'Quinn?
Let me get back to it. All right, so sorry.
Okay.
On page 37, item 39, I'd like to remove that from consent. And then also on page 38, item number 44, I would like to remove that one from consent.
At 44.
Yes, sir.
Those are the only ones, Dr. O'Quinn. Thank you. Councilor Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to, on page 35, remove item 33, please.
33, thank you. Any others, Councilor? All right. No other items? All right. At this time, councilors, I'd like to entertain a motion for a motion and a second for consent items.
So moved.
All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member, the mayor, or citizen interested in a public hearing so requests. If so, such items will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. All matters of permanent operation indicated with the view will be read. All other matters will be announced by reading the item number only. All public hearings will be announced. We have a motion and a second. Now we're ready for the vote.
Councilor Woods, I put you in the system. How would you like to vote for this? Okay, you ready to?
All right, thank you, councilors. Those items for consent have passed. If you're here for any item that was listed as a consent item, it has been approved, and at this time, we will continue with the rest of our agenda. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, first item is item number 1. Item 1, a resolution relative to the application of African LLC for the transfer of an off-premise beer and wine license to be used at Woodlawn Mart, 4917 Mercer Airport Highway, Birmingham, and hearing large support. Motion.
Second. All right, thank you. At this time, I'll turn this over to Councilor Tate. There was no recommendation from the Public Safety Committee, so Councilor Tate, if you'll chair this.
Thank you, Madam President. Is the applicant here for African LLC? They're not here.
Do you have the information?
Yep, it was no incidents. It meets zoning and the neighborhood approved.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Motion?
Yeah, I motion that we go ahead and pass it.
All right.
Ready.
Yes, it was Hunter and, excuse me, Councilor Williams and Councilor Moore. Thank you, that item passes. Next item.
The item 2, a resolution relative to the application of MAPCO Express Incorporated for an off-premise beer and wine license to be used at MAPCO 7554, 1901 Finley Boulevard, Birmingham, and hearing large support.
Okay, is the applicant here?
And let's do a motion. So moved. Been moved and second. We'll turn this over to you, Councilor
Thank you,
Tate.
Madam President. Is
Yes.
the MAPCO applicant here?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Charlie Beavers. I'm at 4301 Dolly Ridge Road. Pleased to be here on behalf of MAPCO. Would you like for me just to give a brief description of what we have there, or just
Yeah,
be
we
here
have-
for
we
answer
have the,
questions? Ma'am?
We have the information here, but is that the owner of MAPCO?
This is Keith Slater is the chief operating officer for MAPCO. They own and operate 300 stores around the southeast, and he came to answer any questions you might have about their operation. This is a $7.5 million investment right at the corner of Finley and I-65 southwest quadrant. They're very excited to be there and very excited to be opening that store in about 3 weeks, I think.
Okay, any councilors have any questions for the applicant? Yeah, this store is like literally like across the street from my house.
Oh, yeah.
So it's exciting to see the progress that you guys have made, and to also see that you're partnering, you know, with Carver High School as well in the community to give back. So there was no incidents. They meet the zoning requirements, and they had the neighborhood approval for the store to open. So again, thank you. Welcome to Finley Avenue. And I noticed that you do have a healthy eating option in there, Subway. So thank you for that. We ready for the vote?
Thank you. Ready for the vote, Mr. Clerk?
Thank you.
Councilors Abbott, Moore, and Oakland. Councilmember Moore, thank you. That motion.
All right, thank you. That item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good day.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Item 3, a resolution relative to the application of event concession incorporated for a special events retail license 140 to be used at Fiesta on September 24th, 2022 at Lynn Park, Birmingham, and hearing large support.
Move the item.
Councilor Tate and second by
Councilor Clark.
Is the applicant here for the Fiesta?
My name's Joe O'Brien, 355 Highway 361 in Pelham.
Okay, could you just tell us what this event entails, please?
Yes, ma'am. It's an annual event celebrating Hispanic culture and heritage. This is the 20th year. It'll be held right across the street in Lynn Park.
Okay. All right, councilors, the item, no recommendations, so we ready for it?
I have a question.
You got a question, yes, ma'am?
Can you remind us of the time of the event?
Yes, ma'am. It's noon until 8.
Thank you.
Saturday, the
24th. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. This
Any
time-
other questions?
Other questions? We're ready for the vote. Thank you.
Councilor Clark. That vote should be up.
Thank you. That item passes. Thank you
Thank
and
you.
good luck with that festival. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Item 5, a resolution relative to the application of Arturo Lopez Martinez for a buyers of gold or silver permit to use the enchanted diamond fine jewelry 1680 Montclair Road, Birmingham, New York.
Number 4, Mr. Clerk.
I missed 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
4.
Oops.
That's okay.
A resolution, number 4, item 4. A resolution represents the application of Fareed Muhammad Al Zahiri for a record service license to use the Fast Car Towing LLC, 7601 First Avenue North, Birmingham, New York. Insurance parties. It's one record permit.
All right. Second.
Councilor Williams and no.
Councilor Tate.
Good morning. State your name for the record, please. Your name and address for the record, please.
Raif Muhammad Al-Zuhairi,
Okay. And what's your
7601 First Avenue North, Birmingham, 35206.
Thank you. Okay, councilors, this was no incidents that meets zoning requirement for them to establish their towing business. Any councilors have any questions for the applicant? See that it's no questions.
We're ready for the vote.
All right.
All right, thank you. That item passes. Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Next item.
All right, now 5. A resolution up to the application of Arturo Lopez Martinez for a buyers of gold or silver permit to use that enchanted diamond fine jewelry, 1680 Montclair Road, Birmingham, New York.
Okay, is the applicant here?
Do we get a motion and a second? There you go, Councilor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My wife and me is representative the jewelry store, the Enchanted Diamond. I work in Levy's Fine Jewelry for 11 years here in downtown Birmingham. I take the decision to say goodbye together with the family, open one store. I know I nowhere feel the ground. Okay, no have material for working. I need buy the scrap for can make piece for customers. So I don't have material. I need clothes. I can buy the companies, the Stuller, quality gold. It's very, very, very expensive. No, it's business. Please help for take this license for buy the scrap.
Okay. Can you state your name and address for the record, please?
This is 1680 Montclair Road, Suite 900.
Okay, and what's your name, sir?
My name is Antonio Garcia.
Okay. All right, council, it was no incidents, and they do meet the zoning requirement.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am, Ms. Abbott.
I do have one question. It's how in the kind of business you're in, which would be buying scrap jewelry or scrap whatever, jewelry is usually gold and silver, what protections are there to make sure that it's not been stolen from someone else's house in a burglary or something? What kind of steps do you take?
Okay, the police department give a instructions. Example, I can buy and put in hold for 30 days. I not can talk. The inspection visit me on his business report. He said, this is okay, no have problem, this no have problem. Hey, this is, I have the report. I need give the piece I buy, yeah, I need give the file, the customer, the sell me. If one people will sell me gold, need give me his license or ID. I make a copy, open a file in my business, that I have for a long time.
Okay, so if somebody brings in items, you copy their driver's license, so if those items are discovered to be stolen, they know who to go talk to. The police would know who to go talk to about why it appeared in your store. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I buy. The police have a report. He's got to check. Much occasion the people take pictures at his jewelry or buy insurance. He check, this is it's okay, this is no have report, this have report. The have report, I need give. I not going to lose money. My insurance need pay me. And the people, the police make his job. I don't know what is the next process. So it's for me it's I feel they sure not have a options. I know buy gold for 4 years in my business. No buy. Because not like the problems. We will make everything inside the law, not outside.
Okay.
Yeah, buy.
I think I got it.
Councilor Abbott, I do see Detective Pitts. He's standing. He may be able to lend more to your question from a procedural. Thank you.
Good morning, Detective Pitts with Business Compliance Unit. What happens when the applicant purchases gold or silver, that person has to have a photo ID. And once he gives a copy of the photo ID, that the item has to be put in a system called Leads Online, and had to sit for 30 to 60 days. So the detective can, see if anything come up missing or stolen out of the house or whatever, he'll contact this owner here and come back and take a look at the product. So there's a system called Leads Online where it has to sit for 30 or 60 days.
Is Leads Online for the public or just for the police?
It's just for the police.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Detective Pitts. Thank you. All right, any other questions?
No, that was it. I just was curious.
Thank you. Glad you asked that. Thank you. All right, I believe, Councilor Tate, we're ready for the vote. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. That item passes. Good luck with your business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilor Tate. And next item.
Be item 33. An ordinance to further amend the general fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 by transferring $1,587,001 from capital projects consulting fees and appropriating $1,587,001 to non-departmental transfer of Fund 102 capital improvement, and to further amend the capital fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 by appropriating $1,587,000 and $1 to DCP consulting for capital projects. Motion.
Move the item.
Second.
All right, thank you. Just 1 second. Councilor Williams pulled the item. So, do you have a question about it? I was going to let him ask his question first since he pulled it. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Madam President. Just in our, and I just spoke to the mayor about the fact that we did not have supplemental information or the contract for meter view in our packet, and it might have made it in the budget and finance packet. I don't know. I don't have that, but there was nothing to read on this. And I kind of wanted also logistics about how it was going to work, which might be in the contract, but contract wasn't in there to read.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Thank you. Was your question similar before Ms. Bell gives us? Okay, go ahead, Councilor.
Thank you. Councilor Williams wasn't in pre-council when I said I'd like to take it off. Okay. But I'm pretty excited about the new department and want to see you successful and have everything you need to operate. But per the Mayor Council Act, I don't think once this funding is established, I don't think the contracts for consulting would have to come back to the council. Is that correct? I mean, so I just wanted to I figure this is our chance to ask anything we need to ask about how you plan to use the funds, how it'll, support your operations, and maybe even support us because we get to direct a lot of capital spending through the rescue plan dollars. So if you want to I just wanted an overall perspective of how these funds will support the new department and us.
Look at the contract too.
Well, I don't think there's an actual contract because it's just setting up their funding for the new. I thought DCP Consulting was a company too, but it's Department of Capital Projects.
If we'll allow the director.
I thought it was a company.
Madam.
Give us yes.
Yeah.
Mayor.
No, I think, Madam President, I think your colleagues have fair questions. If you all will allow Mr. Nice-Bell, who shared some things with the Finance Committee where this was actually clear to get to this point, let's just start from the beginning, if you will.
Yes. Denise Bell, I serve as the Director of the Department of Capital Projects. So basically the premise of what we're doing is to move money from our operating budget to our capital budgets. As you know, that our construction projects sometimes exceed a year. And we have what we call construction administration costs, our architect of record, our engineer of records, etc., for our construction projects specifically. So in the budget, we actually put in there for this services an ADA transition plan, which the city is required to have that we currently do not have. Also energy savings services. Also facility assessments, the remaining facility assessments, and our ongoing capital projects that we have on the books right now. So it is not, those funds are not set for a particular project. It is as we need and as we get projects that we use. Now the ARP projects are separate from this budget.
Okay, so does that mean like the synergistics energy savings proposal that was coming to the council but was withdrawn could now be done out of this funding?
It was already set up in that funding per the budget. It was part of our budget request for this budget year.
Okay. Well, is it relevant to talk about that since we did get to see the proposal?
It will be back before you in a week or two.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I want to make this clear because we're bringing that before you. And we're going to be bringing
that will
things
come
before
before us. That's fine. I won't talk about it now then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you. I understand where you're on your this dual thing of transparency and keeping the council informed.
Yeah.
That's not what this is.
Okay. Because I don't think you have a requirement. Now you certainly can bring it, but I'm not sure you're required to bring it by law.
Well, we want to bring it.
Okay.
I think, I mean, we're pretty consistent. I think you all should know. I mean, other things that have happened prior to us serving where we don't feel it's worked out. So I think the council should be in on the front end of what we're attempting to do.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get a sense of how the funds would be used, and since there is some chance we might not see it.
Do you want to give them an example? I think an example would be helpful.
So example is we have inspection staff, but they are inspection staff for all of our construction projects. 1 to 10 they are inspection staff for all of our construction projects. that's not enough staff. We only have about 3. So we have to get services to help us to inspect while construction projects are going on. The resurfacing project, we cannot allow a contractor to just go and do the work, and city staff is not able to review it, or a consultant that has been hired by the city who has our best interests at heart to review the work, basically. So it's literally construction and inspection services, our Procore management software that we utilize, all of that is coming out of this funds. ALDOT has particular requirements that we don't have the internal experience to actually fulfill. So we have to outsource that work as well.
Yes, Ms. Clark?
I just wanted to ask one question. I know you mentioned this is not ARPA-related support.
Right.
But like estimating, say when we ask for an estimate, do you all do that in-house, or do you consult, to get, I guess, conceptual estimates, budget estimates?
We do 95% of the time we're doing in-house based off of our historical projects, but we do have what we call partners in the community that if we have any issues or concerns with the project costs, that we can consult them, and that is at no cost.
Okay.
Thank you. Councilor Woods, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Just to piggyback on that, basically like those owner's rep or just engineering services, pretty common, so that's needed. My question was, basically, is this representative fully, there's no additional funds outside of what we talked about, like on the front end with like the budget conversation, this is just representative of that? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Well,
Yes,
yes, my question is there going to be, there has been discussion about hiring and I don't know if the term is correct, but maybe a professional services group related to the administration of some of the capital projects within ARPA. Is this a substitute for that? Is this in conjunction of that? Are we still talking about that?
Okay, so Chief Mitchell, I think it was last fiscal year, set aside $500,000 for program management services for all of the ARPA projects to get us started. So this is completely separate from that. And that group has been hired. That group is well known and is KMS.
Okay.
It's an African American group in here in town that specializes in program and project management.
Okay, and then so for estimating, does the KMS group do it, or do you guys do it?
For the ARPA projects that we put under their purview, they will do the estimating.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Ms. Bill. Mayor Woodfin, we were ready for the vote.
Councilman Rule. All right.
All right, thank you. That item passes. Thank you very much, councilors. Next item.
Item 34. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a one-year interlocal cooperation agreement for photography and planimetric mapping services, cost sharing between the city of Birmingham and Jefferson County, under which the city of Birmingham will pay Jefferson County an amount not to exceed $35,714.29 in exchange for Jefferson County providing the city with a copy of received products delivered by per any GIS consortium projects. And this is the item of permanent operations, so I need UC first before we entertain. They all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion on the item. Second. All right, item before you.
All right, thank you, councilors. Any questions regarding item 34? All right, this time.
I do have one question.
Go ahead.
And that's
Councilor
just,
Abbott?
how often do we get information from the county? Like, how often is our information on our website updated? Is it once a year, twice a year?
Ms. Abbott, prior to this vote, I don't have a team member in this room that can answer that question. I'm not going to make up one, but if it's okay with you, I will get an answer literally. Well, never mind, I changed my mind. Team member here.
Okay.
You have a whole hall full of team members out there just waiting to come in.
Thank you, sir. Did you understand the question that's for you? Tell us who you are.
Good morning. My name's Dustin Glass. I serve as senior system analyst with Department of PEP and work with the GIS and permitting systems.
Okay, so my question was, how often do we update our information on our website? Do we get like one update a year and then all of the sales of property and ownership transfers would not be known to us, or do we get updates periodically?
Yes, ma'am. In regards to like the tabular tax data, we do get a yearly update of that information, usually around May. And we use that to start the process for the stormwater fee calculations and all of that, kind of as a prerequisite. And then usually in the fall, just due to the different components that we have, we start the process of trying to integrate that into GIS, into the parcel layer and update ownership and all of those things, as well as the permitting system as well. So.
Okay, so it's just once a year though.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I use the online mapping all the time, and when you click on it and it tells you who owns the property, if it's close to the first of the year, it might be accurate, but as time goes on,
Yes,
it may become inaccurate.
It does, and that's just kind of the nature of that process with the fact that we receive that, just that one time, and it is, like I say, they provide it in a number of files, and we do a little bit of processing to put that together, but we do generally get it in May, June of each year.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That answers your question. Good question. Any other questions, councilors? We're ready for the vote then, Mr. Clerk. All right, thank you. Item 34 passes. Next item.
Should be item 39. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute for and is the act of said city a management agreement with Jazz Hall of Fame of Alabama Incorporated, under which the Jazz Hall of Fame of Alabama shall manage, operate, supervise, and maintain the property known as the Carver Theater for the benefit of the city for a term of 3 years ending June 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $175,000, subject to an annual appropriation of funding by the city in each corresponding fiscal year's budget.
Okay. All right, thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. You'd ask this item to be moved.
Yes. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion for a 2-week delay on this item, so that we can revisit and add some more specificity in the agreement.
Council's request is for a 2-week, is it 2-week delay, Dr. O'Quinn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any questions regarding the request? Councilor Abbott?
Not really a question, but in Budget and Finance, we requested that it be made clear that it's not $175,000 to cover 3 years, but that it's $175,000 per year, and that didn't seem to make it. So since we're going to delay, we may as well fix it.
Yes, ma'am.
Did that?
That works.
All right, council, so we have a motion now for a 2-week delay. Thank you. This item is delayed for 2 weeks, so it'll come back to us, and if administration will note that change in the amount and the frequency of it. Thank you. Next item.
Should be item 44. A resolution authorizes the mayor to issue on behalf of the city a firm commitment to allocate $250,000 in local grant match in support of $10 million railroad crossing elimination, planning and engineering grant application to the Federal Railroad Administration Railroad to develop highway rail and pathway rail grade crossing improvement projects that focus on improvement the safety and mobility of people, goods, and services. Norfolk Southern and the city of Trussville have committed to pay the remaining balance of the 20% local match requirement for the RCE grant.
Move the item.
All right. Thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. You'd ask to have this one moved.
Yes. So I just had to pull this one off of consent just to once again express my gratitude for us moving forward with this. I can't even begin to tell you how many years of conversation I've been involved in around addressing these issues, and this is a extremely positive step in my opinion, and I'm especially thankful for the city of Trussville joining us in this effort. I think anytime we go after funding of this type, having that cooperation with adjacent municipalities says a lot, and Norfolk Southern's participation in this cannot be understated. This is the largest financial commitment that Norfolk Southern has ever made to a project of this kind. $1.5 million is nothing to sneeze at. Norfolk Southern is a big corporation, but again, this is the largest financial commitment that they have ever made to this type of project. So extremely thankful for them and for their continued cooperation. Hopefully we can see this project through to the end. And one thing I do want to say is that when it comes to addressing block train crossings, there are a lot of things that need to be taken into consideration. Alabama's rail infrastructure has lagged behind other parts of the country, and just in a nutshell, there are a lot of things that need to be done to improve rail infrastructure across the state. And this is just one small piece of an entire toolbox of things that need to be utilized to address that problem. But the important thing is that we're picking a tool up out of the toolbox and we're getting ready to use it. So that's, taking action is important, and hopefully this will be the first of many.
Thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. Mayor Whitman?
He's right. It was about probably 2:50 yesterday. I was actually going to Oliver Elementary School to supporting the pickup line as it relates to promoting the town hall tonight. We got stuck by a train, and I imagine it's just if there was a train on the other side. So whether parents are trying to get to their children, those residents who live in Harris Home have a medical issue, or there's a fire, it's not right. So I'm glad we're making this step. It's a big deal. So thank you. And I know Harris Homes is not the only neighborhood or community. There are so many in Southwest, in 6 and 7. I know the area is in 9. And I know the area is in 4. So I know this is an issue citywide.
Thank you. I know Council Pro Tem I'll let you go ahead and speak about it.
But the first thing I was going to do was thank Dr. O'Quinn for his diligent work and advocacy. I mean, he's been working on this for years, so I want the public to know that Dr. O'Quinn has really been advocating on our behalf for this. So congratulations, Dr. O'Quinn. And yes, District 6 and 7 need help. A lot of help. A lot of help with trains. Thank you.
I was at Reverend Wesley Church Friday, and literally as soon as we cross over the track, the arm comes down, literally almost no notice. No notice.
Correct, and I guess we just want to reiterate, but I do want to say thank you also to Dr. O'Quinn. I know this has been a long time coming, a lot of work put into this, and even though it starts here, we want to continue this effort, especially in the areas we've seen deaths associated with the block trains and people trying to run the trains. And so it's a serious issue. And Mayor Whitman, when you talk about parents, students, and the safety issue, trying to get back and forth to school, church, everything, it's just a terrible situation, but I'm glad to see this start. And I want to thank Norfolk Southern. We've been on her, I think the counselors, the three of us sitting here together, I think we have them on speed dial, because every time we get a blockage, then we're out there trying to work on your behalf to get that unblocked for you. So thank you. Councilor Clark.
I just want to also jump on the bandwagon and thank Councilor Darrell O'Quinn and the mayor, because this is like moving a mountain, because we don't have any jurisdiction over this stuff. And, it's just an example. Like when we look at stuff like the gun control, we don't really control that, but we have to ask and push and wait and just keep pushing, because if it's important, you just have to dare to ask and insist. And so, congratulations for, a start at addressing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Abbott.
Well, waiting is something that we're all very good at. And if you're not good at it, you better learn to be good at it. And that goes for, of course, our residents too. I mean, when Oak Ridge Park was in District 3, we met with the railroads, the same issue. I mean, who would build public housing between two railroads? But it was done, and there was nothing, well, clearly it was done a lot. But anyway, but I did want to ask, the Federal Railroad Administration Railroad, is that really the name of it? Is there a railroad on the end of the Federal Railroad Administration? Is it?
I know I normally hear FRA, but not FRA.
Do you really have a railroad on the end of it?
No.
Good.
Check that.
Okay, well, you know me. I notice those things. It's like some kind of fetish or something. So y'all will just have to put up with it for a little while longer, and then it'll be over.
We appreciate it, though. Thank you so much. You never know. Someone may pull up our documents and think, now, what was that?
Well, see, that's what always concerns me, is that someone will look at it and say, what's wrong with these people? They didn't even know what they were doing, We want them to think we know what we're doing.
That's right. Councilor Moore, did you ever?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say thank you and congratulations to Dr. O'Quinn as well. I know that the residents over in Harris Homes, as well as those that are close to those railroad tracks, will definitely appreciate this. And it just, it's a beautiful thing to just see the work come to fruition. It was something else I was gonna say, but honestly I forgot. But I just want to say thank you.
For that.
Just want to say thank you.
One other thing that I do want to make sure that I mention is that in conjunction with this project, we are we'll have a consultant in town on September 20th. To specifically engage with the community about this project and what's being proposed. So September 20th from 12 to 2 at the Harris Homes Community Center. They will have, you'll be able to come and go as you like, but they'll have professional transportation engineers, civil engineers there to explain what's being proposed and get feedback from the community. That's 12 to 2 at the Harris Homes Community Center on September 20th. And then later that afternoon from 3 to 7, there'll be the same type of opportunity at Social Venture in Woodlawn, where again you'll be able to just come and go and interact with professionals who will explain all the details of what's being proposed and gather community engagement. And it's really important that folks who care about this and want to weigh in on it actually participate in that, because that information is going to be included in the application, which goes in on October 4th, or is due on October 4th. So we're hoping, that by demonstrating that we're serious about this and going ahead and moving forward with some initial community engagement, that we'll be able to include that in the application packet. So again, that's September 20th, 12 to 2 at Harris Homes, and 3 to 7 at Social Venture.
Thank you. Is that what you wanted? You had something else?
Yep. Councilor Abbott threw me off with this grammar fetish, and so I was up here giggling about that, and forgot the date and the time. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I believe we had a motion and a second, so we're ready for the vote. She's out, yes. All right, that item passes. Thank you again, Councilor Quinn.
Yay.
Mr. Mayor. Thank you all. All right, next item.
This will be item number 50. The resolution appointing 3 of the Land Bank Authority members for serve said term expiring July the 15th, 2026. I don't know whose committee that's.
It's
Councilman
Hunter,
Smith.
is Hunter Lee? Hunter Williams, this is his?
No, this is
Was it
Councilor
yours?
Smitherman.
I'm not sure. The resume should be in there, but it's Brad Green. He's already on the land bank, so this is just reappointment for him. And he was the only one who submitted a resume too.
All right, councilors, this committee has brought forward the name reappointment of Brad Green. Is there a motion and a second to approve this?
I move approval.
Second.
Any questions? We're
Do you
ready.
see his resume? Do you see it?
I see it.
Okay, I'll email it to y'all right now.
No, it was not. Okay, thank you. And council will email that to us, but this is a reappointment.
It should maybe be on your
Second.
the icon on your iPad.
You are so
Nope.
right. Not there? Did
Okay.
I look for it? Okay. All right. We're ready for the vote.
All right, that vote should be.
Thank you. So this, Mr. Green is reappointed to serve the term that will now expire July 15, 2026. We thank you, Councilor Smitherman, and your committee for making this consideration. Next item.
Item 66, a resolution approving the advance expense counts of an elected official, and this is the addendum item.
Move the item.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Ready for the vote?
All right, all right, vote now. All right, that vote should be.
All right, thank you. That item passes. Any other items?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Councilors, at this time, we'll entertain your comments from each of your districts. We'll start. You ready, Councilor Woods? Okay, thank you, Councilor Woods.
Thank you, Madam President. One, I'm excited about the literacy town hall tonight, the mayor and school superintendent. So I think literacy is important, and I want to invite everybody to support that. This Thursday, the Huffman High School football team will take part in the BCS Game of the Week. This Thursday, 7 p.m. against Centerpoint High School. First home game of the season, so hopefully they've had a good week of practice and are ready to go and represent the district. Kilo Springs will host their Community Fun Day on Saturday, September 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That will be at Grayson Park. Definitely appreciate everything Kilo Springs does in their really neighborhood, and having a strong neighborhood organization is very beneficial to what I do. So come on out this Saturday, 10 a.m. to Grayson Park, be there till 2 p.m. and have a good time. Free Zumba classes kick off this Saturday. This Saturday is September 3rd, so as soon as you leave Grayson Park for the fun day, head on over to Don Hawkins Rec Center for the free Zumba class, 2 p.m. And so they do a really good job over there of having different classes and things like that, and really good participation. So plug into that. The Spring Lake Neighborhood Association will meet this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. They'll be at Huffman High School, and I believe they also have a virtual option. The Echo Highlands neighborhood also meets on Thursday at 7 p.m. They are still meeting via Zoom, so a couple of great opportunities to plug into your neighborhood, get involved, go out and meet your neighbors at Fun Day, and then a little exercise over with some Zumba. So everybody's invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Woods. Councilor Tate.
Thank you, Madam President. We do not have any neighborhood meetings this week. So we did have, Central Pratt had their fun day, so Mr. Donna Smith wanted us to thank everyone that came out to make Central Pratt Fun Day a success on Saturday. So we do have an upcoming cleanup. We still continuing the Be Litter Free cleanup on September the 17th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. The meetup time is 7:30. So we're gonna be assisting the Evergreen community with a cleanup, and you can meet us at Evergreen Community Center at 1867 16th Street North, Birmingham, Alabama 35204, and all volunteers on deck. So contact Barbara Jackson at 205-478-4120 for more information. The next public safety meeting will be September the 27th. You can submit your agenda items to Brandon McCray no later than Thursday, September the 22nd at 1 p.m. And I just want to reiterate what Mayor Wolfman stated in the beginning. Don't forget to come out to the I Push Foodie and Live Music Fest. Is going to be Sunday, September the 4th from 5 to 11 p.m. And that's downtown Ensley, 406 19th Street, Ensley, Birmingham, Alabama 35218. And yours truly would get an opportunity to be on a panel with woman's panel out there. I did have an opportunity yesterday, y'all. It's some bikes right outside. So I was a daredevil. It's like the Uber bikes, and I took a ride on the sidewalk of City Hall. So I have a video that I can show y'all where I was riding a bike. So I want to challenge every counselor. Let's go out there and get on a bike one day. Let's ride. And it really was it was fun.
But
It was
remember,
fun.
but remember, it's illegal to ride on the sidewalk. Keep that in mind, because we're city councilmen and we got to do it right.
Well, that was just a test ride. But it was very fun. So I enjoyed it. Thank you, Madam President.
May take up that challenge. All right. Thank you. Councilor Quinn.
Yes. All right. Councilor Moore is probably planning on touching on this, but I want to let people know that ALDOT is hosting a community meeting tonight, and that's going to be at the Kennedy School there on 1st Avenue North, 63rd Street and 1st Avenue North. They're asking folks to come out and hear a presentation on work that they want to do that includes the I-20, that ramps off of I-20 right there onto 1st Avenue North in Woodlawn. So exit ramp 130A and 130B. I'm not sure if they changed what the proposal is, but I know recently there was discussion about them potentially closing the 130B ramp. So that's the one that you exit right and it curls back around and heads east on 1st Avenue North. So again, that's tonight at the Kennedy School, and I'm looking for the time. I believe, well, I think it starts at 4 o'clock, right? Yes, 4 p.m. So, and again, the Kennedy School is located at 125 63rd Street North, and it's 4 to 6 p.m. Here it is. All right. Transportation Committee will meet on Monday, September 12th at 2 p.m. Any agenda items can be submitted to Kimberly Phillips at kimberly.phillips@birminghamal.gov. And if you couldn't find something to do in Birmingham this past weekend, then you're living under a rock. It was one of those weekends where it seems like everybody converges and decides to throw a party. So between Sidewalk and Taste of 4th Avenue and Folk Fest in Avondale Park and other options, it was one of those things where you needed all day Sunday just to recover. So congratulations to everybody. The Taste of 4th Avenue in particular had an amazing crowd. All of 4th Avenue was packed shoulder to shoulder with folks for the headliner, I know for sure, and just a great weekend this past weekend, and great start of the festival season here in Birmingham. I know there's a bunch of concerts, free concerts, coming up on the calendar over the next 2 or 3 months. Thank you. That concludes my announcement.
Thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. Mrs. Abbott.
Thank you, Madam President. The next Planning and Zoning meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, September 14th at 3:30 p.m. The Glen Iris Neighborhood Association, their meeting is scheduled for Labor Day, and they're not having their meeting on Labor Day. They have moved it to the next Monday at 6 p.m., September 12th. Just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Labor Day, and don't eat too much barbecue. I am reminding all residents of District 3 to please continue to visit our website for real-time updates and information, and that is www.bhamdistrict3.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Abbott. I believe Councilor Wood, you missed one announcement.
Yes, real quick. I wanted to make sure I announced that the Government Affairs and Public Information Committee will meet tomorrow at 2:30. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware.
Thank you. Councilor Moore.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Yesterday I had the opportunity to go to the Southern Museum of Flight for their GameStop Gives Back event. Students from Inglenook Elementary were able to participate in STEM games and various activities for a fun, interactive learning experience. Yeah, I thought I was gonna beat these kids at some games, and I lost severely. But it was a really good event. I know that Inglenook K-8 has really been doing a really good job at building bridges and connections with Southern Museum of Flight. They actually have an aviation program that they're promoting with the students, and so this was their way of really just trying to find a fun, creative way to introduce the students to aviation. It was cool to hear some of the kids walking through and looking at the planes and like, oh my God, like this is big, or what does this ship do? Because they had like the little battleships that planes could take off from, giving them a good point of reference to say this is aviation, and really just starting that conversation around all the careers that are available in that field, right? I know during the pandemic we had several Delta airplanes that were parked at our airport, but what I did not know is that we did not have any mechanics that were qualified to be able to work on those. That was something that had to be outsourced, and so being able to start early, start young, introducing them to this information is very key. And so really had a good time with them. So shout out to GameStop, the principal over at Inglenook K-8, Mr. Principal Steve Brown, and the Southern Museum of Flight team, which is a real gem. Like, I don't know if y'all have been over there to the Southern Museum of Flight, but it's cool. So if y'all haven't, go check it out. Neighborhood Association meetings, we have 2 that will be canceled. Maple Grove as well as Brooman Heights, that usually meets on Monday. They will not be meeting. They will have their meeting next month in honor and recognition of Labor Day. And Collegeville has rescheduled their meeting until Monday, so the following week, Monday, September 12th. So just wanted to give you all information on that. Something that I did not get a chance to talk about last week. We had so much going on, and so Well, one other announcement real quick. East Birmingham Church of God in Christ, located at 255th Street, Birmingham, Alabama, with Bishop Peter Wren. They're going to be having their tent revival August 31st at 7 p.m. They're the church that's located right next door to Woodlawn High School. Good segue. So last week, did not get a chance to give a shout out to Coach Eatman over at Woodlawn High School. He was the sideline coach of the week, and so definitely want to make sure that I give him shouts out because my Woodlawn Colonels are 2-0, y'all. Like, they ain't playing with y'all. They are not playing with y'all. So next on the schedule, we got Mountain Brook, and we gonna be 3-0. I'm gonna go ahead and speak that. Yeah. So I hate that, you know, we ain't got none of y'all on the schedule because, you know, we'll be handing out losses. But, yeah, just wanted to say that. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. So, lastly, again, just want to reiterate, please make sure that you take advantage of the ACE program, and, you know, join and fill out an application so that you can be more informed as a citizen, as a resident of the city of Birmingham. But then also, directly after you finish that class, make sure you join your neighborhood association. Like, there are neighborhood associations in each and every neighborhood. So if you don't know about it, please call your counselors. Make sure that you find out how to get plugged in, because we need to have more and more people that are involved, that are engaged, that are putting their hands to the work, and taking responsibility of their neighborhoods. It's not just our responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility. So just wanted to say that. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Councilor Clark?
Thank you, Madam President. Well, like some of the others, I don't have any District 8 Neighborhood Association meetings this week. And just kind of piggybacking on what Councilor Quinn said about this weekend, really want to congratulate Urban Impact for a very successful 19th, almost annual Taste of 4th Avenue Jazz Festival. And District 8 was proud to be a sponsor of the festival, and a lot of our residents were out, and there was, I mean, it was packed with vendors, fellowship, music, food, and dancing. And if there was any doubt that the taste wouldn't be the same after the COVID pause, that was certainly put to rest. And he failed to mention how foolish many of us looked at the roller disco at Sidewalk trying to roller skate after 40 years. But Chris Mosley showed us up, and of course O'Quinn had his own skates. You know, the rest of us had to rent skates. But I was guarding my knees. I asked if they, you know, we had to rent socks, and I asked them, do they rent knee pads? And the knee pads were like really huge. And they were like $75. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to just take my chances. And so I was very protective of my knees. So, and people were being carted off on a stretcher too. So anyway, it was a fun time, really a unique experience. And I was warming up to get ready for the Skate with Councilor Tate event in October, so we're just gonna keep it going. Also, tomorrow on Wednesday, August 31st, from 10 to 2, the Five Points West Regional Library is hosting a health and wellness expo. There will be free health screenings as well as information about various conditions. The team over at the library has assembled a stellar list of service providers, including Archwell Health, Jefferson County Health Department, Callahan Eye Clinic, and more. So be sure to check out that event. Also coming up in a couple of weeks, on September 17th, Saturday, we have a new event called 5K at the Junction, and that is a fundraiser for Holy Family Academy. It starts at 8 a.m. and you can register at runsignup.com. That's runsignup.com, and just look for the 5K at the Junction event. Also on that same day, a little later, we'll have our Be Litter Free campaign back in action. We're going to be gathering at the Fairview Park on Saturday at 9:30 a.m. and start cleaning up about 10. And as usual, we'll be joined by our mainstay partners, Keep Birmingham Beautiful, Black Warrior River Keepers, United Way Hands On, and I believe that Milo's will come out and help us that day. So we're really grateful for the help. Anyone else wanting to volunteer, please come join us or sign up at Hands On Birmingham, United Way's Hands On Birmingham. And if you have a love for the outdoors and are just interested in a unique way to serve your fellow residents, we are accepting applications for the Birmingham Parks and Recreation Board through end of day tomorrow. If you are interested or know someone who's interested, please encourage them to send a letter of interest and resume to carmen.mays@birminghamal.gov. And then I just want to, I know Councilor Moore's been talking about neighborhood associations and neighborhood elections. We do have elections coming up in October. I believe the last day to qualify to run for office is September 6th, maybe. But it's coming up. The last day to qualify is coming up quickly. And one of my neighborhoods has no officers, no president, no vice president, no secretary, and that's Central Park. I want to encourage residents of Central Park who are interested in leading to find out more about qualifying to represent your neighborhood. You can contact staff in the Community Resources Office. The head of Community Resources is Alice Williams. The Community Resources Officer assigned to that neighborhood is Willie Watkins or Andre Watkins. But please step up, talk among your neighbors and see who wants to lead your neighborhood so that your neighborhood can have some representation in the community, citizens participation plan. And finally, I'll just say happy Labor Day. Be safe, have fun, enjoy life. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam President. The next PIC meeting will meet next Tuesday, September 6th at 2 p.m. here in the council chamber. Submissions are due tomorrow by noon. The next Budget and Finance meeting would be Monday, September 26th at 3:30 p.m. here in the council chambers. Submissions are due Wednesday, September 21st by noon. For more information on the exciting events and any other information, visit our website at www.d6bham.com. Also, on Labor Day, we will have our Safe Summer concert. This will be Monday, September 5th at 5 p.m. We will have John Jr. and Young Jock. So you guys come out. We'll have Eugene's, Travis, and I think one other truck. So I know Ms. Clark is here, Madam President,
Yes.
if she could just take the remainder of my time.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. If you'll come up, I think you had an announcement you wanted to make, or... No, ma'am, you're here. Thank you.
My name is Valerie Clark, 1434 18th Place Southwest, Birmingham, Alabama. I'm Valerie Clark. I'm on the board of Shalom Perpetual Care. And we are asking, I think I gave everybody last week a flyer. If you need one, I will give it to you. We having a black, excuse me, and white gala on Sunday, October the 9th, 2022, and that's at 4 p.m. The gala is benefiting Shalom. You know, we've been out there a year, the Perpetual Care, and the court has gave the Perpetual Care permission to come on Shalom property and cut it. We've been maintaining for a year. We don't have no phone from anybody. The board member, I'm the historian of the cemetery. And we're asking you all to come out and support us, financially support us, because we have 5 men out there every Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they faithfully come out and cut the cemetery. We have 45 acres. And I know maybe some of you all have a loved one out there. Come out there and help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. And just to reiterate, just our conversation before councilors, it is a private cemetery, so we cannot give any funding to it. That's part of it. So if you see a lot of the cemeteries in the budget, they are public. So thank you, Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Was that all of your announcements? Thank you. Announcements for District 7. We do have a few neighborhood meetings this week. The Jones Valley neighborhood will meet Friday, September 2nd at 4 p.m. at the Powderly Library. We're trying to confirm the Priscilla Heights neighborhood is scheduled to meet Monday, September 5th. That is Labor Day. They're scheduled to meet at 3 p.m. at the Mirador Center. So to find out more information, you can contact the neighborhood president, but we were not able to get a confirmation if that meeting will take place or not. I just want to remind residents that Lawson State Community College, they're accepting their second cohort of students for a 4-week training that will lead for work at the Buffalo Rock manufacturing plant over in Lawson State. This is the second leg of the UNIM grant that I was awarded to create this workforce development pipeline. So we're just looking for anyone who would like to be trained and have an opportunity to work. You have this opportunity to go to lawsonstate.edu for more information on that training program. I also would like to just announce that I'm very excited to be a part of Leadership Birmingham, the class of 2023. And so I'm excited for that. I know some other staff and council members have had an opportunity to work with Leadership Birmingham. So I'm excited. The class is made up of quite a few local elected officials. So we have a couple of mayors and a couple of other council members that will be joining us, along with business people within the community and residents in the community. So I'm looking forward to that. My biggest challenge right now is that I have a roommate on a two-night retreat. I haven't had a roommate in about 40 years, so this will be the first time to have a roommate with somebody I don't know. So we'll be getting that. I have to ask you, Chief, I can't go back to D7 without asking, are we still on target for the paving at Jefferson Avenue? I know we've approved the money, we've got the project out there. I just would like for them to hear it from the administration's mouth.
Yes, we are on, but I will absolutely get you an exact timeline for that, Madam President.
Thank you so much. It will be very helpful. Also, I do know that the September bulk trash schedule has been posted. I do like the fact that now you have a second page to that, and it has all your neighborhoods in alphabetical order. So it really is helpful. We just ask that let's just please pick that trash up on the day that we've got it out there to be picked up. Because I've got some stuff waiting on September 6th in Roosevelt. So let's get it done. All right. Thank you, Council.
I just wanted to say one last thing. Got to give a shout out to Brother Harry Giddens here from Brownsville Heights community. He's my president, so I appreciate you. Got to. That's it.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. We got you.
I forgot to say happy belated birthday to Councilor Woods.
Hey.
I just want to shout out to Madam President of Winona Dragons for their successful alumni this weekend.
Yes, it was, really want to thank the planners of that event. It was a 5-day event. And so I know that Mayor Whitman was able, I wasn't in town on the weekend, but Mayor Whitman did go out to the picnic, and we also had staff out there, so we just want to thank everyone. It was safe, family, friends, so thank you very much.
I
Thanks
saw
for bringing
photos.
us.
It was very nice.
Yes, thank you very much. We want to thank those officers on duty today. We really appreciate your service. Cedric Pinkert, Kiana Suttles, and Clyde Coleman. Councilors will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.